Hi guys, we're now looking at DAX40, which is the German index. And previously guys, on the monthly chart, I'd spoken about the fact that this level over here, just bear with me, I'd spoken about the fact that this level over here was a very strong level of support, and we can now see that price is broken below that level. And I'd said that should price close below this level, what we would do is wait for it to head back to this level, and at this level is where we would look for further, or rather look for potential selling opportunities. And in my humble view, I expect price to actually move further down to around this level. Why do I say this level? That is because we have this candlestick over here. It is a bearish candlestick with a very long lower wick, which tells us that at this level over here we have a whole lot of liquidity at that point, which needs to be triggered by the market at this point in time, right? And guys, can you also see that should price head back to this level to test it, it would be creating a head and shoulders pattern, as you guys can see, right? That's another reason why I say should price come to this point, I will look for potential selling opportunities, right? Anyway, let's proceed. So what else do we see, guys, in regards to the monthly chart of German 40? At this point, I don't see much. What I will do is head down to the weekly chart. And here we are on the weekly chart, right? And on the weekly chart, previously I spoke about how we have this W structure, and I said that because people usually buy on that second week of that W structure and place their stop losses just below that W structure, this entire move over here, maybe let me just redraw that. This entire move over here, this entire move over here, in my humble opinion, is a stop hunt, right? Because due to the fact that we have W structure and people buying at this point and placing their stop losses just below, it makes sense for the market to actually push further down to grab all of the stop losses that are sitting at this point. And what may actually happen is, as much as on the monthly chart I said that price may possibly move further down, price may, after having collected all of these stop losses, may push further up, right? Anyway, that's just a possibility. Anyway, let's proceed, guys. And remember also that the month of September is over and we are in the month of October, right? And to add to that, can you guys also see that as much as we had this W structure, right, can you also see that we have this M structure over here, which has a neckline at this point, right? And we can see that price at this point in time has closed below that neckline, right? Which further emphasizes what I said on the monthly chart. If I can just go back, it further emphasizes what I said, that price may possibly move further down to around this level over here, right? And that is because the neckline of this M structure has been broken, right? So just to go back to the weekly chart, right, because we have this M structure, what we expect now is for price to push further down a bit and for it to head up to the neckline, and at the neckline is where we would look for further selling opportunities. I hope you guys can see that. So what I'm going to do now is just a neckline to that M structure. So just bear with me, guys. Let's see. There goes the neckline of that M structure. Can you guys see that? Right, I hope you guys can see it clearly, right? So what I would love to see happen next is for price to move further down, so, you know, just to give the neckline a bit of space, and then for it to head back to the neckline to test it. And at this point, as I said, is where I would look for potential selling opportunities, right? And I believe that the market should come to this point. Actually, that's what I believe, and that is because, as I said, we have that candlestick that's carrying all of that liquidity at that point, right? Having said that, just also, if I can just zoom in a bit, just also bear in mind that we had an overextended W structure over here, which has a neckline at this point. As you guys can see, we saw price breaking to the upside. And before I continue, let me just also point out that this pattern over here this pattern over here is indeed a W structure. It's an overextended W structure where the first leg is lower than the second leg. Right. Anyway, let me proceed. So as I was saying, guys, we had this W structure and we had a neckline at this point. Price broke to the upside of that neckline and then came back to test the neckline, and at the neckline is where we would have looked for further buying opportunities. Can you guys see that? Right. Anyway, my point is that the neckline of this W structure is now a very strong level of support, and as much as I'm saying that we have this M structure and we want to see price come back to the neckline, and then we expect price to move further down, what may actually happen is that price may push, or rather price may come to this level, which is the neckline of this W structure, and then at this point is where it may possibly push further up. Can you guys see that? I hope what I'm saying makes sense. So I'm just gonna add a neckline to that W structure as well, because it's now a very strong level of support. So just bear with me, guys. Let's see. So we can say that this entire level over here is a very strong level of support, right? And besides us having the W structure over here and the neckline, just look at the whole area. Just look at the whole area over here. It's a very strong level of support because we had multiple rejections. We had a rejection at this point, we had a rejection at this point as well, we had a rejection at this point, and in the future we might possibly see a rejection at this point. So if you do get a very nice selling opportunity, I would say that your take profit should be this area over here, because at that point is where we might possibly see the market retrace, right? Anyway, from here what I'm gonna do is head down to the daily chart, and here we are on the daily chart. Let's have a look. And the first thing that I'm going to do in regards to the daily chart is just to add my daily channel. So just bear with me, guys. Daily channel. Let's see. Just bear with me, guys, while I add this daily channel. And I just need to ensure that the daily channel is as accurate as possible. Okay, there we go. There goes our daily channel, right? And we can see that the market is in a downward spiral, right? Which is further confluence in as far as us looking for potential selling opportunities, over and above the fact that we have this M structure, right? Anyway, let's proceed. So what else do we see, guys, in regards to the daily chart of German 40 or DAX 40? On the daily chart, I don't really see much, although I just want to point out that we had this candlestick over here. It is a liquidity candlestick, and it tells us that in the future price has to come back up to grab the liquidity that's sitting at this point. Similarly, we have another one at this point, right, which also tells us that price needs to head up to grab that point. However, this can take quite some time, or rather it may take quite some time for price to head up to those levels to grab those liquidity points. So they are not important at this point in time, and the reason why I say they are not important is because price at this point is close below the neckline of this structure. And as I said, what we expect, due to the fact that we have this huge M structure, is that we expect price to head back to the neckline, and at this point is where we would look for further selling opportunities, right? To add to that, guys, I don't really see much in as far as the daily chart goes. So what I'm going to do is head down to the H4 chart. On the H4 chart, I'm just going to fix my lines, so just bear with me. Let's see. Okay, that should be fine. So what else do we see, guys? We're now on the H4 chart. On the H4 chart, I don't see much, but let me start off by adding my channel as well. Let's see. There we go. Right. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Let me just fix it a bit further. There we go. Let's see. Just bear with me, guys, bear with me. There we go. Right, so there we are, or rather here we are on the H4 chart of DAX 40. So what do we see in regards to the H4 chart? The first thing that I can really see in regards to the H4 chart is the fact that at this point over here we have a very strong level of support, right? As you guys can see, to add to that, we have price creating what seems to be a W formation, as you guys can see, right? And as much as I'm saying that the anticipation or the expectation is for price to move further down, what may actually happen is price may move up to this level to test this neckline of that huge M structure that I spoke about on the bigger time frames, and at this level is where we would look for potential selling opportunities, as I said, right? But in as far as buying or selling opportunities at this point, I don't see any at this point in time. Let me just actually add an area to that bottom, because it is an area of support. There we go. There goes our support level, right? And as I said, guys, we have what seems to be a W structure happening over here, right? With the side being the second leg of that W structure. Having said that, just also bear in mind that this W structure could be a trap, and the reason why I say that is because and as I've said multiple times, when it comes to W structures, right, what normally happens is a lot of traders and investors buy on that second leg of the W structure, and they place their stop losses just below that structure. So we can see here that the second leg of the W structure is here, and what may actually happen, as I said, is that price may push further down to trigger all of those stop losses and to continue its original intentions, right? So we just need to be careful, right, in as far as DAX 40 goes. But at this point in time, I don't see any buying or selling opportunities. What I would do at this point is to wait for price to head to this level, and at this level is where I would look for potential selling opportunities, right? I'm just gonna go down to the H1 chart. Just want to have a look just to see what's going on at that point. Let's see. So here we are on the H1 chart. Let's see. So guys, on the H4 chart I spoke about this W structure and the fact that a lot of people bought at this point and placed their stop losses at this point. As much as that's the case, can you guys also see that we have an M structure over here, right? And if price closes below this neckline, chances are that the market will continue to push further down, or it'll push down slightly and then go back to the neckline to test it. And at that neckline is where we would look for potential selling opportunities, and price will push further down, right, to, in my humble opinion, perhaps trigger all of those stop losses that are sitting at this point, right? But just to go back to the H4 chart, ideally I would love to see price head to this level, and at that level is where I would look for selling opportunities, and that is because this level is the neckline of that huge M structure I spoke about, right? So that is my analysis in as far as German 40 goes, and peace out, guys.